And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Cars in Hagerstown and Frederick, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. Behind me, we have a 2018 Honda Civic Type R currently for sale at Younger Nissan here in Frederick, Maryland. But in today's video, I figured it would be fun to go ahead and hop inside this thing and do a quick little how to drive manual video for you guys, because the majority of the US population I know still does not know how to drive a manual, and there are still manual cars out there like the Type R that only comes in a manual. And so I thought it would be fun to grab a salesperson to do a quick little how to drive manual video for you guys. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and hop in and let's get started.
Hey guys, I'm Steven Osorio, salesperson here at Younger Nissan of Frederick. Today I'm gonna be explaining driving manual. So typically when I get in a manual car, every car is a little bit different. So I like to, when I'm at a park, I like to, feel the clutch a little bit. And then I also like to feel the shifter just to feel kind of how it moves. Every shifter is just a little bit different and you never know. So you always want to kind of get used to the car. Obviously, when you have a manual car and you're driving it over and over, you'll get used to that specific one. But every time you're driving a different car, you want to kind of make sure you're ready for what you're going to be driving. So to start a manual car, it's a little bit different than a regular vehicle. Most vehicles, you just put your foot on the brake. With the manual, you put your foot on the brake and the clutch and you start the car. One thing you want to make sure when you're starting the car, make sure you're not in first, because if you're in first and you start the car, then you'll stall out right away. If you are in first when you start the car, no biggie, just leave your foot on the brake and pull the car back to neutral. So with this Type R specifically, it has an electronic parking brake, which is a little different from most cars. What you do is you leave your foot on the brake and you push down on the parking brake, and you'll feel the brake give you a little bit more resistance and it'll disengage that parking brake. Now your vehicle is ready to move. You want to leave your foot on the brake at all times because your car's in neutral. And this is a big difference from a lot of regular vehicles. When you're at a stop, usually you're in park if you're not moving. But in manual cars, you're going to be in neutral at all times you're not moving. There is no park per se unless you have the parking brake on. So the hardest part for a manual vehicle is trying to get into first gear. Basically, what you're looking for when you're trying to get into first gear, you want to pay attention to your RPMs, and you also want to feel for your clutch. When the car's about to stall out, it's going to start shaking. You're going to feel a good bit of shaking from the vehicle, and you kind of can feel that the car's going to stall out. So you want to feel for that at the same time while you're kind of tapping the gas, and you want to stay right around 2,000. And you see how the car's shaking right there? And there we go. Now we're moving. Okay, so typically when you're driving, you want to be around 2,000 RPM. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit different compared to how you're driving. If you're trying to, pass somebody on the freeway, then maybe you want to be a little bit higher RPM for a little bit more power. Every situation is a little different. Now, when you're moving and you want to shift into the next gear, here, I'll show it when we get right over here. Basically, when you want to go to the next gear, you take your foot off the gas and you basically push the clutch in, move your gear, and then let go of the clutch, and then you can push back in on the gas. And I'll show right here. It's a quick action, something that you got to get used to, but once you have a hang of it, it's pretty easy. So here, I'll show you how to get into third. Do the same thing, and then push the gas. It's pretty easy. So when you want to downshift and go a gear lower, you push it on the clutch and you move the gear the opposite way. So you move back down a second. So something you want to pay attention to when you're trying to downshift, let's say I was going pretty fast and I was starting to slow down. You want to make sure you brake ahead of time, because if you don't brake and then you go down into a gear and you have too much RPMs, your car is gonna give you a huge jolt, and you're also gonna be really high in RPMs in that next gear. So you always want to make sure you slow down before you downshift. So when you're coming to a stop, what you want to do, you push it on the clutch and you shift back to neutral. Shift back to neutral, leave your foot on the brake, and you slow down and come to a stop. Now you're in neutral, you're starting all over. That's the name of the game when it comes to manual driving, is starting over and over and over, going to first up to whatever you need to get, and then start over.
And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Cars at social media at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit subscribe to the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and everything else that goes on at the dealership. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.